Yo, greetings from the Philippines. We're experiencing a super typhoon, Pepito. It's already caused a lot of flooding everywhere, and we're getting torrential rain on and off, and sporadic use of communications as far as like internet and tele and so forth. But I'm in a compound here in Baguio, which is near Clark. So it's an enclave of think like the VFW, but for Anzac, for like Australian and New Zealand types. I think it's ALS or ARS. So it's like all the retired down under or disabled vets. They do a lot of community work here, along with the Thunder MC, providing much needed medical care for a lot of the what they call throwaway kids here in the Philippines, especially this close to Angeles. A lot of that happens, unfortunately. So good on them for doing such good work for the community. Aside from that, I know people are kind of coming out of the funkies and realizing that it ain't over in so many ways. That the world doesn't come to an end despite super typhoons, which is going to be the norm, of course, for climate change for a while. And I'm happy to see that people are still feeling some of the nonsense. Um, you know, this nonsense with Matt Gaetz as the potential AG. If that happens, I'll be shocked. To be honest with you, it just sounds like more wind-up nonsense. Um, Same thing with the Fox TV host guy is going to be our what is it, Secretary of Defense. Where is this really going? I don't know. I have no idea. Hopefully the aliens and the metal in the sky or whatever else will happen on these last few episodes of whatever the hell's going on. You can't help but hand it to Terrence McKenna and novelty theory of just thinking about how weird it's going to get, and people have to acknowledge the weirdness. And so, in the words of Hunter S. Thompson, when going gets weird, the weird turn pro. And so, I've been batting and punching above my weight for many years in that category, so it's nothing to me, and I hope it's nothing to you. You cannot be cynical. You cannot be jaded or burned out. You have to sort of dig in and be ready. And I've been saying that for over a year or two, that, if we want to beat the final boss on this level, we got to be ready. So hopefully you are organizing. I would suggest that you find a different communication for comms. Let's just include that social media is entirely compromised by those that would probably not do well by us for whatever reasons. Mostly, I think it's money for the most part for those guys. And so it's the usual case of, oligarchy, and the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, and whatever's left on the table, we're all fighting over that. So let's not do that. Let's continue to work with each other and continue to embrace each other on this side of the equation. The rest of y'all, you're fucking dead. You've been dead to me for a long time anyway. Seriously, you're brain dead for obvious reasons. And so I don't see much compromise in that area. I mean, when you nullify my values as far as what I think is fair and equitable for people of all creeds and colors and genders and so forth, this whole idea of weaponizing the idea of wokeism is just shows your ignorance in multiple ways, that you're able to be baited and motivated by fear. That means you're chicken shit, basically. And so your chicken shit reaction is to supposedly hire or elect a strong man in this case, and they ain't fucking anything strong about it. That guy's softer than baby shit, and you're gonna see all of that come to fruition here very quickly. So don't sweat the small shit and don't believe the hype. Use your mail, as in the post office, for sort of long distance checking in on friends. I mean, there's nothing better, as Nietzsche said, what could be a better surprise than a letter? So, if you want to support your friends away from wherever, send them a letter, send them a postcard. But obviously, you can't read what's inside a letter, not without a court order. So while we still have that privilege, we probably should utilize that. I'd say any hobbyists out there, any guys gals that have experience with radio, even if it's a citizens band radio, I think that's a great area to explore. I think it's a great area that, if you grew up back in the day, Gen X, you remember there's always some old guy that had, shortwave or whatever else that maybe your Korean veteran father or maybe Vietnam vet mom maybe knew or something like that. So it's a great time to revitalize some of these older technologies. Meanwhile, we're still wrapping wire down here for drone jamming. Drones are going to be pretty pervasive. It's going to be like lifting a huge rock with these huge drone swarms. So don't say you heard it here first, because if you're just now thinking about the idea of drone swarm, you're behind the 8 ball already. So let's not forget that fly-by-wire technology, as long as you got the signal, it can be jammed. You can drop them right out of the sky. There's all kinds of countermeasures for that. Same thing for all the other nonsense that's going on. So, have fun with it, right? I mean, the grasshopper lies heavy. That's all there is to it. Philip K. Dick was quite correct all along, as he always has been. So we know what's going on. So embrace it, enjoy it, have fun with it. I mean, I am. I think it's fantastic. Even the super typhoon, it's a beautiful breeze here coming over the Baguio ghetto in this compound, and the best thing that could ever happen is getting denied re-entry into Thailand, because that was sort of part of my wake-up call, along with getting stasis dermatitis from being online too much. So I'm glad that I'm working my way back to you, babe. So it's basically you take a certain amount of styrofoam, like styrofoam cups or any of that stuff that comes in the container. Just keep putting that in the gasoline until it gets to a bit jelly-like consistency. And then you really got a nice sticky kind of what would be the word we would use? Not retardant, but the opposite of that. What would it be? I wouldn't say detonator per se. There is a word for that, and for some reason it slipped my mind. I don't know what that is, but my mind slips all the time. So you can also experiment with different types of detergent. I would suggest even the cheap dollar store detergent. You'll be surprised. You just basically want to get it so it's a gummy, sort of like slimy, got that beautiful Bolivian cocaine gasoline smell to it. I mean, it's just delightful. I mean, it just proves that you don't have to be a wizard to cast a fireball. And I would say have some fun with your own pyrotechnics. That guy that put diesel fuel and one other ingredient there in his pressure washer, I mean, hey, like George Carlin said, who came up with the idea of a flamethrower? Like, oh, there's something over there I want to set on fire. Actually, I think he said there's some people over there I want to set on fire, but, we wouldn't advocate for that. So we're just talking about some alternative ways to have fun, in a jackass kind of way, in a Gen X kind of way. And so you want to fuck around and find out. Here it is. Enjoy. See you soon.